guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really want to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is being a mom. More specifically, being a mom and an actor at the same time. I do feel it's important to talk about this, not just being a mom, being a dad, just a parent in general in the acting business. Some of you may or may not know that I'm a mom. I don't talk about it a lot. I mean, I don't really post about it on, Instagram or anything like that mostly because I'm just protective of my kid and I don't really want pictures out there and stuff. And in the past year or two, I've been more in a mode of like, this is me. And then especially at the SAG Awards that I talked about before, I think it was the SAG Awards, when Oprah stood up and said, the most powerful thing you can do is to speak your truth. That's what I've been all about, especially lately, is just being exactly who I am. But really the reason that I feel that it is the most important to talk about it and get it out there is because of other people that may be going through the same thing and might be able to relate and might be able to use this support. Because truth be told, when I got pregnant, I was pretty freaked out. I didn't know any other actors that were parents. I just kind of felt like an alien in my industry. And I was like, is it over for me? Things were really just ramping up for me. Here they were going to be coming to like a halt for a while. The unknown was really scary to me. And so I really wanted to make this video and put it out there so that people know that it is not so scary to be a parent in Hollywood. I just want to be able to bring some comfort and support to actors that already are parents or are thinking about becoming parents. Because let's face it, this career is such hard work and takes up so much time. It's your life, right? Being a parent is even more so. So the idea of balancing those two, I understand, can be totally overwhelming and seem totally impossible. But I'm here to tell you that it is possible and that it is actually really freaking awesome. Like I said, when I first got pregnant, it was so terrifying to me because I was like, who's going to remember me if I take all this time off and then try to come back in the industry? How am I going to find time? A billion questions, right? I know that coming back from having a baby, it can seem really daunting and can seem like, how am I ever going to be myself again? So here's the truth. You will not be that exact same person again, but that's a good thing. When I came back after having a kid, so much insecurity and like self-obsession that a lot of actors deal with vanished, because there was this other thing that was so much more important than any of my silly concerns about, did my arms look fat, did that, like all these little things that really don't matter and that get in the way of your auditioning and of your performing. They kind of go away because, like I said, there is something more important that you're dealing with on a daily basis. Another great thing is that when you are dealing with a little one all day, your right brain, which is the creative side, gets turned on a lot more, and you're constantly having to work in that side of your brain, being silly, using your imagination, all that stuff that is incredibly important and sometimes very hard to access when you're an actor. My issue has always been working too much from my left brain, trying to plan out the scene and how I want it to look and what are the exact lines and getting everything just right, when really being an actor, the best thing you can do is to let it all go and use your creative side. Of course, you have to know your lines and stuff, but you need that fun creativity, and that is boosted so much by just being around a kid all day and making silly faces and sounds. And it's almost like you're improvising all day long. And we all know that improv is like an incredible tool for actors, right? I also came back working a lot harder because, let's face it, you now have a little tiny human that you're in charge of raising and paying for their life, and it ain't cheap. So there's more reason for you to have to bust your butt and work really hard and hustle. I have absolutely 1000% worked so much harder after having a kid than before. Before, it was just kind of this lackadaisical, yeah, I'm in the business, I'm an actor, and good things happened and everything, but I have absolutely gotten more work after having a child than before I did, and that is because my focus was a lot more intense. You think you don't have a lot of time for yourself, and you think you are working really hard before you have a kid. After you do, when you have just a little bit of time for yourself, you use that time to really focus and work hard, and you really are forced to make the most out of whatever time you have to get the most work done. And that just leads to, that combined with this new added confidence, it's like it just makes things happen. Also, when you walk into a room and you're auditioning, a lot of times we're worried about, what do they think? Do they like me? Is this going well? And it kind of helps, to be honest, to have another thing to be worried about versus what's going on in that room. Just another something bigger on your mind, like getting back to your child, or what are they doing? Are they safe? Whatever. Because it takes the focus off of that audition. I don't want to say takes the focus off, it takes the pressure off of it. So you're not so worried about what's happening with right then and what this casting director is thinking of you. You're more about just doing your work and getting back to your kid. And it just, I don't know, it just makes for better auditions for some reason. I just want to take a second to say that in no way is any of this video or anything that I'm saying meant to be putting down people who don't have kids, or to say that they aren't just as capable of doing everything and having all the same confidence and whatever. I'm just saying, for me, this was my big change, and this is how things changed for me in my career and in my mind when I had a kid. There are plenty of people out there who already have that confidence and who can already rock that audition without having to have a child to get there. I really, truly, I'm not trying to sell you on this idea or just make you feel better if you're freaking out a little bit. The truth for me personally is that becoming a parent changed the game for me, only in a positive way. And I remember specifically struggling in my acting class and my acting coach saying to me, "You need to have a kid." At the time, my reaction was like, "What? Don't even say that. What are you talking about? I'm not ready for that. No. He was totally right in my case. It seems so opposite of what makes sense. It seems like when you're a single person, you don't have to worry about kids. You can focus on your acting. Yeah, that does make sense that having a kid would really throw a wrench into the whole thing and make everything slow way down and just go downhill from there. For me, it just happened to be a real positive. And if you're someone who's kind of tossing the idea around, I just want to say that not only is it possible, but it can be a huge plus for you. Now, I don't want to sugarcoat it and BS you and not tell you the truth. Yes, it's amazing. It's the best thing in the world I've ever done in my life, becoming a parent. However, yes, it is hard AF. I mean, I don't even have a side job. I just make my living as an actor. And so I get to be home with my child a lot, which means that I get maybe an hour or two to myself per day. Like, he's in preschool right now for 3 hours. And this is what I'm doing. After he goes to bed and stuff, I have time to focus then too. In a weird way, I'm more productive now because, like I mentioned, you're forced to do as much as you can with your time. Whereas before, I had all day and just didn't have the focus to really work that hard. But yes, you do have less time. It is harder to do self-tapes. You can only really do them at night, or you need to go somewhere to do it. You cannot do a self-tape with a toddler running around. If you have to go to an audition, you do have to find childcare or figure something out. Lucky for me, my husband is an actor too. We have a pretty flexible schedule and are able to cover each other really well. So it is going to be harder for some people out there who have day jobs or have other jobs, or their spouse is at work from 9 to 5. But just know that once your kids all go to, once your kid turns 5 or 6 and they all go off to kindergarten, you will have all that time back to yourself. So it's really just getting through those first early years. If you have a baby, when they're napping is when you can do some work, or you can take a nap, or whatever it is that you need to do. There are ways around everything. And it's almost like, it's like getting a puppy times a million. Like, when you are thinking about getting a pet, you're like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to find time to walk a dog? How am I going to And then you get the puppy and you're like, what was my life like before this? Everything is fine. I can't even imagine what it was like to not have this dog. It's the same thing with having a kid. It seems all impossible, but then you work it out somehow. I don't want to lie to you and say that it's all easy breezy. It is hard, but I just want to tell you that you can make it work. I have been a mom now for 5.5 years, and I have never ever had to not make an audition or not make a job or push something back or whatever because I have a kid. You know, that was a big worry for me, is that I was going to be less available and I was going to be less reliable. No, it's never been an issue for me personally. When you are forced to figure something out, you do figure it out, and that's just the truth. It's worth all of the difficulty that comes along with it, because any parent will tell you that having a kid is just the best damn thing in the world, and to me, like, there's just nothing more fulfilling. So if you're thinking about it, just do it. You'll be okay. There is just so much support out there. Whether you find it on a Facebook parent group, there's actually a Facebook group for moms and dads that are actors in LA, and maybe if one of you is having an audition over in Santa Monica and you have to bring your kid, you can write and be like, hey, does anyone else have an audition in Santa Monica that can meet me and like watch my kid for 2 seconds while I run into the room? And these are like private groups, so all the people in there are kind of verified and it's all good. There's also a great podcast that I love to listen to called Motherhood in Hollywood, and the host Heather Brooker is an actress and she's a mom, and there's just a lot of talk about how do you do it, what's it like. She interviews all kinds of moms in the industry, just further proving the point that it's all possible and totally doable, and that you can be an absolute powerhouse in the business and be a parent at the same time. And if you have an audition, there's so many great short-term drop-off places to do that you don't have to have like a nanny or a babysitter to rely on. There's a lot of possibilities out there that are there to help you. And you'll find once you become a parent and start going to the park with your kid that you'll meet other parents that maybe are actors too. It's just this whole community opens up to you once you become a parent. Right now, before you become a parent, you might be like, but I don't know anybody that has kids. You will, trust me. You will meet so many people, like all you will be surrounded with are people that have kids and people that are like you. So it's all good. So guys, I just want to say, like, the advice of this video is not run out and have a child. That's not what I'm saying. But if you are in a place where either you're happy with your relationship and you're good to go and you're ready to have a kid, but you keep putting off because of your career and what might happen, don't do that. I did that for a while, and all the times that I was like, well, I don't want to get pregnant right now because this might be coming up, like, nothing happened in that time. And I totally could have been pregnant that whole time and I wouldn't have missed anything. And then whenever I was like, okay, I'm ready, let's go, it's time to get pregnant, then something would come up and I'd be like, oh, now I can't. It's always going to be like that. That's just the way the universe works. Just do it. Like, don't worry about what you might miss out on. Obviously, if you can try to plan it out a little bit so you don't miss pilot season or you don't miss whatever, maybe you can try to do that, but you know, plans usually don't work out exactly as you imagine they will. The point is, don't hold off having a child if that's what you really want in your life. The other thing that I feel it's really important for me to say is that if you don't want to have kids, great. God bless you for knowing what you want and for not having them, even though you know that you really don't want to. I'm so against the stereotype that women are supposed to have kids and that's where they belong and that's what they should be doing. You should only be doing that if it's something you really want and you can like feel it in your bones that you really want to be a mom or a parent. If you know that you're not that person and that your career is your baby, nobody should be judged for that. No female ever. Like Jennifer Aniston is always talking about how people are always like, when is she gonna have a baby? When is she gonna have a baby? She's like, is that all I'm good for? Like, hello, it's none of your business. Leave me alone. And I 100% agree with her. I have friends that are in the industry that know that they don't ever want to have kids, and that's none of anybody else's business. I'm just talking to the people who are thinking about having kids because that's what they really want and that's what them and their partner really want. And if their career is the one thing in the way of that and time is ticking, and we all know that, you know, women don't have forever to have babies, then I'm just saying don't put it off for your career. Don't put that ahead of your career. But if your career is your number one and you know that's it for the forever and ever, do that. No one should ever feel the pressure of having to have a child if they know that's not what they really want for their lives, because it is their life, right? Whew, I feel like I just babbled on and on. I'm really sorry if this went in a million different directions, but this is a topic that's really important to me and I just really wanted to get it out there. I hope that it was in some way helpful to you or useful to you, and I hope that you share this video with anyone that you know who might be going through something like this, thinking about having a kid or has just become a parent, and they're an actor. And if they're like, feeling a little bit insane and underwater, I hope that this video can be helpful to them. I really wish that before I got pregnant that I had seen something like this to ease my anxiety a little bit. Because now that I'm on the other side, I know that it's all good. I know there was nothing to be that stressed out about. I wish I could tell this to somebody else. So I just really wanted to put that out there for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.